Are you seeing it now?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, now I
Okay.
do.
All right. Okay. So if you're interested in getting an email every week from Boone to tell you if they're going to be at CKCS or if they're maybe going to be out taking photographs, you can write down boone.baldwin@gmail.com and he will put you on the mailing list. And then we have the Digital Photography Special Interest Group next Tuesday at 7 o'clock. And Joe, tell them what you're going to be doing.
Well, a lot of folks are now getting into genealogy. We've got a genealogy SIG that's being well received. I know a lot of people when they get into this, or when they're just working on their own photos, they find old photos that they want to fix up. And we're going to do some demonstrations on how to restore the color to faded pictures, how to get rid of scratches, and time permitting, we'll show you how to put two parts of a picture that's been torn, how to put them back together. And our photo contest this month is going to be on pets. The meeting's February 25th. If you want to submit a picture, get it to me by February 24th.
And that's at joe@aol.com.
Joe Deeks at AOL.com. And this is in person only.
Okay, so everybody's welcome to that. And then here are your photo contest topics, Joe.
Yeah, these are for the rest of the year. Next month will be funny or not so funny signs, happy faces, places, birds, waterfalls, etc.
Okay. All right. And then everybody's welcome to join us for Dr. Fix-It and iHelp. The next one is March 1st. It's held the first Saturday of the month from 10 to 12. And so if you have a Windows PC issue, you can bring your PC. If it's an Apple device like a Mac, iPhone, iPad, or Apple Watch, you can come and talk to the iHelpers. So that's just something we do once a month. And then we're starting back with the Windows Special Interest Group. It will be March 11th at 7 p.m. And I believe it's Zoom only. And we will be having Bill James with APCUG Speakers Bureau talking about Windows File Explorer secrets. So if you have a Windows 11, you'll learn a lot about the File Explorer. And then we have Genealogy Special Interest Group this month also. It's a quarterly special interest group, and it's Monday, March 18th at 7 p.m. And Larry is going to be talking about using NAR as the resource. So that's interesting. They started that in December, and there was just so much information that they are continuing that same topic for this month. And then our class schedule is out. Classes are going on now. We have a few that have some slots still available. If you are interested in any of these, you can go on to the store and look at them. If for some reason they filled up between now and the time that you go on the store, you can always be put on the waiting list. You can add your name to the wait list. I encourage people to do that because we do have people who do cancel before the class, and the instructor will call you and get you into the class. So these are the ones that are available, and you can find those on our website. Okay, and so then tonight it's all things Apple Special Interest Group. So I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing. And Kurt, I'm going to turn it over to you so that you can start talking about browsers.
Okay. I want to ask a question. How many of you have more than one browser on your computer? Raise your hand for me. Yeah, a lot of people don't. And also on your iPad and your iPhone. You really do need more than one browser, because if the only browser you use quits working, and I've seen that happen, you're out of luck. And most people today use browsers for everything. First off, can you see my screen okay?
Yep.
Yeah.
It's like a sequoia forest in California.
Yes.
I'm going to talk a little bit real quickly about Opera. It is the fourth most popular browser in the world. Number one is Google Chrome. And Opera is built on the Google Chrome engine. So it works on anything that, any websites where Google Chrome works, it works, but it does not collect your data like Google Chrome. Number two is Safari. Number two is Safari in terms of popularity on the Mac, and the Apple version for the mobile devices. It's number two in terms of popularity. Number three is Edge. Number four is Opera, and number five is Firefox. Firefox is more popular than Opera on mobile devices. Opera has two browsers. One was just released a few weeks ago in February. It's brand new. It's called Opera Air, and it has a green icon. Down here on my dock, I have both of them. Here's regular Opera. Here's Opera Air. Opera Air is a little bit different. I really like it. I'm using it more and more. But it's interesting what they offer. I have my settings open for Opera Air. Obviously, both these browsers are free, and if you want it, Opera Air and regular Opera are made for the Mac and Windows. Opera Mobile is made for the iPhone, the iPad, and Android devices through the app stores. This is one of the few browsers, Opera is one of the few browsers that actually offers a VPN built in free to use. And of course, a VPN is what you use. Here's where you turn it on. Virtual Private Network. And you use it to prevent other people from tracking you. When you're doing your banking, when you're in a motel, whatever it is, you can just switch it on and it's free right here. There's also a pro version you can pay for. But anyway, I find it real, and I'm trying to transition to Opera more and more. I've imported my bookmarks here from Firefox because that's the main browser that I use. But let me show you real quickly. Let me quit Opera Air for a minute. Let me open up Firefox. Actually, I don't need to do that. I can go back to Opera Air. And I'm going to go to, let's see, what did I do with it? Maybe it's not in here, it's in Firefox. Pardon me. I'm having an Opera moment or something like that. Well, anyway, I can't find what I'm looking for, even though I bookmarked something. So let's go back. I'm sorry. But here's Opera Regular, what I call regular. This is the basic version. This is what works on Mac and Windows. I find it really responsive, really fast. And this is Opera Air next to it. And if you're looking for a second browser because you don't have one, this is a good choice to use. Real quickly, because I can't find it. No, that's not what I wanted. YouTube, let's go to YouTube real quickly. And what you don't know about Opera browser. Now, I'm not running a VPN now because I already have the heavy load of Zoom. So I'm just, let's see, I was going to show you if I can find the thing. But it's amazing, something like 350 million people use Opera.
If you don't know more about the Opera Mini 6, this is one of the web browsers available. And
I won't be using that one because I can't understand him. Let's try this one.
You'll be back. Emu can't help people customize and save with Liberty Mutual.
All right, we don't need to watch a commercial.
For the longest time, Chrome has always been my go-to browser on PC. I knew about the Opera browser and other browsers as well.
This guy's a bit difficult to understand, but if you listen, I mean, if you really listen carefully, I'll turn on the closed
I don't
caption.
think it
I
was
won't play much of this, but I want to show you.
worth switching to, because I felt like if it's not broke, there's no need to fix it. I ignored the Opera browser for so long because I felt like Chrome was good enough and simple enough, at least for me. But I decided to give the Opera browser a try, and it's now a month. I've not been able to stop. I actually had to reinstall Chrome just to make this video, just in case there's something I have to show. I have not used it in a while. All right, so before we go too far into the video, I want to say
I'm not going to play any more of this because the guy's hard to understand, or I have trouble with that dialect, and it's not even Cockney, which I have a lot of trouble with. Some of the reasons to use Opera is because it doesn't collect your information like Google Chrome does. Google Chrome is a huge data collection system. Every time you go to a website, it collects it and it tracks you. And if that bothers you, try Opera because they're very, very security oriented. And there are a lot of features that you get that are automatic. I'm going to go to settings real quickly. Privacy and security. I've talked about the VPN that's already in here. There's a sidebar. This is the sidebar over here, and it's kind of interesting. You can turn on little icons if you use, for example, Facebook Messenger or WhatsApp or Telegram or some of these Instagram, TikTok, X, formerly Twitter. You can turn them on so their icons are over here and they automatically appear over here. So you don't have to, you just open Opera Air and click over here and automatically go to that service that you want. It also is really into taking a break, kind of like meditation, which is totally different for a browser. They're kind of breaking new ground. Here's what you can set it to do. Of course, I use my watch to tell me to do this, but it will automatically tell you when you're using Opera to take a break to breathe, to do neck exercises, meditation, or a full body scan, which is really totally different for a browser. But they're really into that you can tell it's Norway, it's Scandinavian oriented because of this. They're really into meditation, taking care of yourself, that kind of stuff. So you can turn these things on and it will tell you, every 60 to 90 minutes or whatever you choose, 4 to 10 minutes, do a neck exercise, breathe, meditate, whatever. There's also something called Boost, and it's kind of like a white or pink noise machine. You can choose music, and it's not music, it's sounds that stimulate your brain in the background as you're working with your browser. And there are a whole bunch of different stress relief. How many of us need that right now? Deep relaxation, dream recall, and they're at frequencies that really, it's not like music. Your brain hears it, but you barely hear some of these. Alpha waves, energy, it goes on, all this learning enhancement, cognitive enhancement. So it's kind of interesting. This is what I need: optimal brain function. It's using a gamma at 40 hertz. Oh, I have to connect my headphones. Okay, well, oh, there we go. Do you hear that?
No.
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 You don't hear that?
No.
Okay, it's coming through my speakers, but anyway, I snoozed off there. But this is kind of cool. It's real calming tones is what it is, kind of like music, but very calming. Anyway, this is something they have built in, and you choose them by going up here and using your little sidebar and clicking on Boost. Use Boost. You can take a break, and there's some other features. They also have built-in AI in this browser called Aria that you can click on and ask Aria. It's kind of like Chat GPT. It's built in, it's free. You can ask it any questions, anything you want.
Is this all part of Opera?
Yes, Opera Air. Yep.
Opera Air.
There are two Opera browsers. One is called Opera.
Yeah.
One is called Opera Air, and then there's Opera Mobile for
Okay.
available in the stores, different stores. So that's basically it. But if you're looking for another browser, everybody needs a second browser. I was helping a guy years ago on a Mac. He had Safari and it quit working. And that was his only browser. So he couldn't get to anything, couldn't get to his bank, couldn't get to his newspaper. And I thought, wow. So from then on, I've always had more than one browser. But you can do a search, a web search for Google Air for the Mac and for Windows, and Google, I'm sorry, Opera. Do a search for Opera for the Mac or Windows. Do a search for Opera Air for Mac or Windows. And from the app stores, you can download Opera Mobile.
Mm.
And I find it to
Is
be a
Opera-
really good browser.
Is Opera Air and Opera Green the same thing, or is that separate?
Opera Air is the name of the browser, Steve, and it happens to be green.
Okay,
It's just the color coding. They make the regular Opera red, and they make the colored one green. So,
okay.
and the neat thing is it does use the Google Chrome engine, so it works with basically everything. That's it.
Kurt, do you know about the robustness of the VPN that's built in?
I've read a little bit about it, but I've never really used it because I pay another company for a VPN. So that's a good question, Gail. And who's hosting it? Where is it? Is another good question. I would obviously check into it before I used it on a regular basis. I
Yeah.
don't use it much because I already use a different VPN that I have turned on. So I just use Opera like I would a regular browser. But that's a good question. Maybe I can do some research and email you. Would
Sure.
that help?
Sure.
Maybe I look
The
into
other
it.
thing is, while we're talking about VPNs, I do want to mention that next tech night Kurt is going to do a presentation on VPNs. So
Which
if you're
which are
interested,
virtual private networks, right? And everybody probably needs to have some kind of security bunker type thing they can use to protect them, their iPad, their iPhone, their Mac, their Windows machine, when they're in a motel, maybe when they're home. A couple years ago, several years ago, Congress passed a law that your ISP, the company you pay for internet service, can view all of the websites that you visit and can use it for marketing purposes.
Hmm.
Shouldn't it be the other way around? That it's blocked and you opt in and you allow them to do it? That's not what they chose to do. They changed it about 4 years ago, 5 years ago. So anyway, I use my VPN at home all the time, just out for security.
so that's going to be March 10th, and it's going to be in person and on Zoom, if you're interested in that. So, any more questions for Kurt?
Yes, Kurt has a question in chat about DuckDuckGo.
Yeah, I use that browser. You didn't mention that one.
Brenda, I like DuckDuckGo. I use it all the time too. I really like it. I find it responsive. The thing about DuckDuckGo is they're all security focused, but it's also newer. It's quite a bit newer than Opera. So it doesn't have what's the word, bona fides or whatever the word is. You know what I mean?
But it
it's
has more privacy than,
it's a very good browser.
yeah,
Yes.
it won't track you.
The one that probably is one of the best that I like, if you really are concerned about security, that would be DuckDuckGo or maybe Brave, BRAVE, which is another popular browser. Opera is up there too, though, with privacy. So if you're concerned about privacy, those are some you might want to check out.
So, DuckDuckGo originally was just a search engine, so they now have a browser. That's
Exactly.
kind of a recent thing that happened. Yeah.
Yep. Thank you.
More questions?
Okay.
Okay, so we're going to turn it over to Joe.
Okay. Tonight we're going to be talking about two things. One is how to turn your iPhone into a bedside clock. And the next one is how to make a custom app. We'll get into both of those in a little bit of detail. The first one is going to be turning your iPhone into a bedside clock. So I'm going to share my screen here and hope this works. Takes a minute to hook up. Okay, here's my phone, as you can see it. And what I'm going to do now is take my power cord and plug it in. Make sure it's hooked up. And then I take my phone and I put it in the landscape mode. And sometimes this works. And when it does that, it's like I said, sometimes it works.
How do you do that?
Just let me change something here. It keeps going to sleep too quick.
Landscape mode.
Knowing that sometimes this is temperamental, I prepared a PowerPoint presentation to show the stuff. Ah, there it goes.
Goodness.
Sometimes it takes just holding your phone still for a few minutes. And here's what it would look like if you plugged it in, your wanted it at your bedside. And if particularly nice if you're on the road and you're in a hotel and they got a clock you don't understand. But with this one, you can see it's set right now for, it's got the date, Tuesday, February 18th. It's got Lexington's weather with a storm warning. If I wanted to, I can change some of these things. I could have some pictures come up. I could get the Dow, clock, calendar, reminders. And there's a whole bunch of different things you can do. So what I'm going to do now is stop this share. Let me get my PowerPoint up and running. I'll go through the details on how to do this.
Screen share.
Okay, what are you seeing?
Turn your iPhone into a bedside clock.
Okay, you got the PowerPoint up. Good. Let me see if I can move these around a little bit. Okay, here's the setup, how to turn your iPhone into a bedside clock. Why you'll love this tip. Easily check the time when you wake up in the middle of the night, snooze or turn off alarms with ease each morning, and it's great for when you're traveling. This tip works on iPhones running iOS 17 or later. Most of you should have iOS 18. I think it's 0.31. And iPhone standby is a feature that's been around for a while, but I just wanted to show you a little bit about how to use it. First off, here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 steps that will do it. And I'm going to give you all this information at the end of the class in a PowerPoint presentation that you can download out of the chat session. I'm just going to go by these right now because I want to get in a little bit more detail. In order to do this, you have to have the standby, which is in the later versions, and you open your settings app and then go to standby. Next, you can tap the toggle next to standby to enable or disable the feature. We want to turn it on. And then if you want, you can turn on night mode. Night mode's kind of neat. Some of you may have in your bedroom a clock maybe that shoots up on the ceiling and it's red. It's very not intrusive at all, but you can still see it a little better. Next step, if you want your notifications to come up on the screen, you could do that. And you could set it for when you want to see them. On a Pro model iPhones, instead of the night mode, you'll have an option called displays. Same thing. This takes to a new menu on how your iPhone screen behaves in standby mode. The automatically setting means your screen will be off when your device is not in use and the room is dark. After 20 seconds, simply turns off the display. Never will keep the display turned on indefinitely. So you have some options there if you want to keep it on. Motion to wake, a detection. If it notes some movement, it'll click on. With standby mode enabled, simply begin charging your phone and then turn it sideways. Standby should activate automatically. Sometimes I've noticed it may take 5 or 10 seconds. So just hold it steady for a while and don't get too discouraged. When standby is active, you have a few different options. You can swipe left and right and choose between 3 different standby displays. First display, you can swipe up and down between the two like I showed you a few minutes ago. Tap and hold either one of the widget stacks to bring up some customizing options. Swipe up or down on the widget stack. You notice you see the 3 dots here. That means I've got a stack, apps that are on top of each other, and I can slide this up and down to get to the other ones. This gives you more, essentially more space on your device. Tap the plus icon up on the left here if you want to add some more, to add a widget. It'll bring up a bunch of different widgets that you can have. Tap smart rotation to turn it on or off. Smart rotation allows your iPhone to dynamically switch between which widgets it thinks are the most relevant to you. It studies you, in other words. You can tap widget suggestions to get suggestions about which widgets to use. I know I'm going through this pretty quick, but again, there's a handout at the end of the class that you can capture all this information just like you're seeing it here. When you swipe left to switch to the second display, you'll see a slideshow of your photos. Swipe up and down to get different views of your photos. You can tap and hold the display to bring up some customized options. You can decide whether you want to show a picture or not. When you swipe left again to view the third and final display, you'll see a digital clock. You can swipe up and down. There's 3 or 4 different presentations, the analog or the digital, different ways. And tap and hold the display to bring up customization options. Tap the gray circle to customize the color of your clock. You can change it to numerous different colors, whichever color you would like. When your alarm or timer goes off, you will see an enlarged display with buttons for snoozing, repeating, or turning it off. So that's kind of nice. A lot of people like to get a few extra minutes of sleep in the morning. If you're listening to music or a podcast, you'll see the alarm or the album art controls for pausing, playing, and skipping back and forth, just like if you were doing on any music channel or Pandora or something like that. You can skip something or move forward. When you get texts, they'll pop up as well. Someone's text you a message to see if you're up. And to make that's how to make your iPhone a night clock. And you will find a copy of these instructions in the chat box. So I'm going to stop sharing this device. I'm going to go back and share my phone again. Each one of these, of course, has to be done differently. Okay, I'm going to try this again and see if we'll make it work. I've plugged in. I'm putting it on its side. And like I said, sometimes it's temperamental and sometimes I get impatient, don't wait long enough for it. Make sure I'm plugged in properly here.
Joe, while that's doing, I might mention that I use it every night and I have a stand that it sits horizontally. I can set it horizontally and it just holds it there and it comes on.
Yeah, okay, that's another good point. It does need to be straight up and horizontal. And you may need to look at a stand or maybe your your phone cover has a stand behind it. But here's one that's set here. I can change that.
I thought there was a problem with leaving your phone plugged in all night, that you're only supposed to charge to 80%.
Yeah, and the newer, I don't know when this started, but it's been a little while ago. When you plug it in at night, it stops charging at 80% until the time that it thinks you're going to be getting up. Most people have a pretty regular routine, and mine is fully charged at 6. But if I come in here at 5, it'll say it's only charged to 80%. So it picks up that last little bit towards the end. I basically don't worry about it. And when you see a little error like this, it'll pop you up and take to your clocks where you can make some changes, but it'll take you out of the nightstand. So calendar is kind of nice. I like that. And I like that. Calendar is pretty good because when I wake up in the morning, it's the first thing I'll see is some things I've got to do.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. That's the stop sharing here. That's how to make your phone into a nightstand. And again, I put that in the chat room where you can download it. Or if you have trouble with that, you can shoot me an email and I'll be glad to send you out one. The next one is how to make custom apps on your iPhone. Now, why would you want to do that? Well, a lot of times we give our phone to somebody, they want to make a phone call or they want to play a game or something. And you may not want them to be looking into your Facebook account, or you may have your Chase Bank in there set up and ready to run, and you may not want them looking at that. So what you can do here, it just change the appearance. For example, if it's Facebook, you might change it to a picture of one of your family members, or a picture of a car, or just an icon of a snowdrop. So that's what I'm going to do next. And let me get in back in here and get it ready to share again. And this is also in the chat, in a download in the chat box. Okay, let me share. Okay, in order to do this, I'm going to be following my notes so I don't make sure I don't mess it up. First thing you do is you have to set up the shortcut app. In order to do that, you can follow along if you want, or just watching, do it later. In order to do that, first thing we need to do is go to opening the shortcut app. Where am I here? Go to your settings and go down to where it says oh, I'm mixing up two of my classes. Anyway, you got to have the Apple Shortcut app, and it looks like see at the top of my screen where it says shortcuts. That should be on your phone already. If you don't, you can go to the Apple Store and get it. We'll tap on that, and we'll open the shortcut app. And we'll get a screen like this. And then it's a shortcut, so we're going to tap on the plus sign up in the right-hand corner. I'll tap on that. And here we get another search engine. And here we're going to type in Open App. Once we get Open App, we'll go down here where it says Open App and tap on that. And here, you notice where it says Open App is kind of grayed out. So we're going to tap on the word app. And here's all the different apps on my phone. And for example, if I didn't want somebody browsing around in my AARP stuff, I would tap on that. And once I get that, it recognizes I want to change this one. So down at the bottom of your screen, where'd my mouse go? You can see this information icon. Anytime you see a circle with an eye in it, it's information about where you are. I'm going to tap on that. And I'm going to tell it to add it to the home screen. And then here's my options. Notice that's the shortcut design up there. Underneath it, right in here, are two different icons. I'm going to click on this one first. And from here, I can choose a photo. I can take a photo or choose a file to put in there. I'm just going to choose a photo. And I'll go to my photos and I'll find something, food. And I'll say choose. Cool. And you can see if I added this now, it would give me that picture that would open AARP. But I'm going to go over here and try this one too. Some other options. If I go to this one, then I can add some color. I'll do yellow. And I'll go down here and I've got a gazillion different options of what I want in here. I'll just put a heart. I'll click on the heart. And then I'll go up here and add it. Oops. Oh,
Oh,
anyway, there it is. I missed a step in there to where I can change the name of this. But this is it. If I click on this, it's taking me to AARP. So basically what I've done here is hide that app. So if anybody's looking at my phone, they won't see it. Now, it really doesn't change the program in any way. In fact, if you go back into your library, which is the last screen, and you type, you can see there is the app again. It's still got its original name. So basically, we've just told people you can't see what I've got. Okay.
Okay.
And those instructions, they're not all that complicated, but you do have to follow the steps one by one, and you go in there and work on that. So, am I still sharing?
yes, you are.
Yes.
Okay. So I've got, wonder where it went to. So I've got this app here, and you notice when I tapped on it, it opened up the AARP. And if I really don't want this anymore, I just do a long press on my screen and I'll hit the minus sign and delete it. And it's still back in my library though. I deleted basically a copy of it. And if I go back over here all the way to my library and tap in here, you can see it's still there. So anyway, that's a neat way to hide some icons. If you got people sharing your phone, you may not want them to see everything. That works very well. Okay, I'm going to stop sharing. Again, those are in the chat box. If you have trouble with that, feel free to send me an email. Back to you, Brookie.
Okay. All right. So what I'm going to share with you today is the app called Find My. And it's a really useful app, but you have to set it up ahead of time. And I have put the steps in the chat box so you can download the steps. If you have any problem downloading the steps, you can just send us an email and we will be glad to email it to you, because some of you may not have the opportunity to actually download it. But this Find My app, it comes in really handy when you have misplaced your iPhone, your iPad, your Apple Watch, or your AirTag. So for those of you, here's the AirTag that you can buy. And you also will want to buy a AirTag holder. And this is what you can put on different items, like your keys, your purse, anything that you sort of misplace at times, your backpack. And you will be able to track it as well as you can your devices. So last month to you all, as a teaser for this segment, was that at the holiday party, I left the office and got in my car and was going to make a phone call, and I didn't have my phone. I thought, oh, I've left it in the office. So I walked back in the office, and of course my watch will bing my telephone. So I was trying to bing it. There was nothing. My phone was not in the office. So I panicked and I called Joe. And Joe reminded me, oh, well, you can track it. So I did have my iPad with me. And so I went to my iPad and went to look for my iPhone. And when I tapped it, I could see it going down Georgetown Street. Okay, so the nice thing is that I knew who lived in Georgetown that had been at the party. So I called them, and they had not, they were just, they were still in Lexington heading that direction. So they said, yes, I guess we did pick up your phone, and we'll bring it back to you, which is really nice because, we can't do without our phone more than an hour at the most, it was, so I had it back that night. So it was all good, but you have to set up this app ahead of time. Another example is when a friend of mine was loading her car and she absentmindedly put her phone on top of the car, and then she drove off. And she got home probably 15, maybe 20 minutes later, and realized that she did not have her phone. She went to her iPad and she saw exactly where it was on the map. So she drove back, 20 more minutes, and it was there. And she thinks that it probably got run over by a car, but it just messed the case up and didn't mess up her phone. So a happy story, a happy ending to that story. Then another occasion is that you can share your location with people so that they know where you are. And actually, I have a friend whose son has shared her location with him. So every time we go and get a burger at Five Guys, we get this phone call that says, will you bring me a burger home? So she could stop that tracking if she wanted to, but she doesn't want to. And there might be an occasion that you want to know each other's location. And so you can set that up. You can set it up for an hour. You can set it up for till the end of the day, or you can set it up indefinitely. And then you can also go in and stop it. So it's just a really good app.
Another great example of that is that if you're going somewhere, 2 or 3 different cars headed to the same destination, you can keep track of where each other is in case somebody wanders off, and it helps you find where everybody is.
Yeah, so that, that works well too. So,
So
okay,
I can put it on my iPad to find my iPhone.
Yes,
yes,
Yes. Okay.
yeah.
we're going to, Brookie will demonstrate that in a minute.
Okay.
Yes, yeah, that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to go ahead and share my, I'm going to do it with my iPhone, but you can do it with your iPad. Takes a minute for these to coordinate together here. It's thinking.
Okay, while it's thinking, I wanted to tell you.
Got it.
Say again. What did you say, Jan?
Got
I was
it.
going to tell you the other night on Inside Edition, this lady had her car stolen, and she had left her iPad, not her iPad, she left her earbuds case in her car, and they were able to track her car. When they got there, the police were able to track her car on her phone, and they caught the guys.
Yeah, I
They
guess so.
immediately found out where it was, but somehow they had painted the car so it would look different, but it was her car.
Oh,
That's a
wow.
real good incentive to make sure you got this working.
Right.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are using it for luggage when they travel, so they can kind of track their luggage.
Yeah.
So you'll see what I use my air tags for. Okay. So the first thing we have to do is, though, we have to go to settings because we have to enable this to happen. Okay. So go to your settings and you'll tap on that. And I'm going to go back a little bit. Okay, so here's your settings. The first thing you have to do is you have to tap on your name.
Oh.
Was there a question? Okay. All right. So you've tapped on your name, and then you're going to go down here where it says Find My, and you're going to set up your Find My app. So we're going to tap that, and you'll get this screen. Yes, because I'm doing this on my phone. It says Find My iPhone, and I have it on. You'll tap that because yours may be off. All right. And you'll want to get the full effect of this app, you will want to enable Find My iPhone. And you'll also want to enable Find My Network, because if you do that, it can locate the phone even if it's offline.
Okay.
Power reserve and even power off. So if that's enabled, it will be able to find it. And then you'll want to enable Send Last Location. So if the battery is dying, the location is sent to Apple. So you will have the last place that it was located before it lost all of its battery. Okay, so you'll want to do those settings. So now I'm going to go back to Find My. We're going to have my location, and I think that's probably, this device is probably a default. And then if you want to be able to share your location with other people, you need to have this enabled also, Share My Location. So tap that. Okay. And that way your iPhone and your iPad will be working for this app.
Okay,
And
okay, Brookie, wait a minute. So I don't have to go and do this on the iPad now that
No.
I've done it? No, okay.
So, Brookie, is there somewhere you list the family members you want to share your location with?
that will be, yeah, I will go there and show you how to share with family. But this, you just got to say, okay, I want to use this app.
Okay.
We're at this point. So it will locate anything that's connected to your phone, like your iPods. Now your watch, you do have to do a little bit different with your watch. You have to actually go into your Apple Watch. You have to open settings, and this is in the list that I have in chat, so you can follow it there. You have to tap your name. You have to scroll down to see your Apple Watch. You tap it, and then you make sure that Find My Network is turned on. So there's about 5 steps that you have to do to make sure that your watch is enabled. Okay. So now what we'll do is I'm going to go back to my home screen, and I'm going to go to the Find My icon. Okay, so it's right here. It looks like this green circle with this blue directional thing. Okay, so that is the app for Find My.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to tap that one, and this is what comes up. Okay, look here at the bottom. You have people, you've got devices, you've got items, and you've got me. Okay, so we're going to first talk about devices. So I'm going to tap devices. Okay, and these are all my devices. So on the iPhone, the map is behind here. Okay, so there's the map, and you can see I've got 3 devices here at home, and then there's one missing here. Okay, it's not with me. So it's like, okay, so where did my Rookie's iPad 3 go? Right? And I think I recognize this address. I think Joe took it home with him. All right. Actually, I sent it home with him so that you could see where it is, where it shows up when you're looking for it. Okay. So, but let's talk about my iPad that is with me right now. If I tap that, this screen comes up. So how many times have you had your devices with you, but you can't find them? They've dropped on the floor, or they've you know, gotten under the covers of the bed, you know, and you can't find them, but you know they're at
Yeah.
home with you, then you can hit this button and it will make a sound. Okay, and I don't know if it will come through or not, but I'll go ahead and we'll just try it.
Mine just vibrate.
Okay,
Oh, okay.
you all hear?
No.
No, okay.
Yeah.
Hey, Brookie, what if you did it on your iPad, the other iPad? Got the sound there, it might come through on mine.
Okay, I'm trying to make this one stop.
I know.
Ding.
I'm trying to make mine stop.
Okay, so you couldn't hear it. Okay, so I'm gonna X this out and we'll just see if the one Joe has is.
Okay, how do I turn that off?
You're gonna have to go to your other device and turn it off on your device. Okay. So now I am playing the sound for the one. Turn it on and see if it comes, you know, if it connects then. It says sound pending will play when connected. So it's connecting.
Can't turn it off.
You can't turn it off?
No, it keeps going.
Okay, so were you looking for your iPad?
No, on my phone.
Your phone? Okay, look at notifications and see if you can turn it off. Okay, so it's not playing. It must be too far away. That playing is basically for when it's with you so that you can find it, you can hear and find it. Okay, but what I could do is I'm going to do directions and it's going to show me where to go to find that iPad. Okay, so those are the two different things that it does to tell you where your device is and how to get to it. Okay, so I'm going to X that out. So that is devices. And now we're going to go back. Oh, Joe, it may be, okay, that took care of it. All right, so let's go over here to items. And you'll notice that I have two air tags. One I have attached to my keys, and the other one I've attached to what I call my luggage, and I put it in my luggage when I travel, but when I'm not traveling, it goes in my purse. So I could track my purse. So Jan, what did you say? Oh, it was their their AirPods that tracked it to their car. So here's the same thing. And so when you tap one, you can play the sound to see, you know, where you lost it in the house. You can kind of walk around and listen for the noise. Okay, so that's devices. And then people is where you go to share your location with somebody. So down here it says start sharing location. And so I tap that and a list comes up of people that I have recently had contact with. But if that person that you want to start sharing your location with is not on that list, you can tap the plus sign and your whole contact list will come up. Okay. So I'm going to go back over here and I'm going to share it with Joe. Okay. So I'm going to put Joe there and I'm going to, what this does, it sends a notice to him that I am sharing my location with him. When he gets it, he will get a option to share his location with me. Or if he doesn't want to share his location, he can decline it, but he can still share with me. So I'm going to go ahead and hit send. And when I hit send, you have the option of sharing for 1 hour, sharing until the end of the day, or share indefinitely, which my friend's son is doing with his mom. It's always there. He always knows where she is. So I'm going to hit share for 1 hour. And then it tells you, you start sharing your location with Joe Dietz.
And my
And-
phone just said the icon Find Mine came up, and Brookie Thomas started sharing with you. Do you want to share yours? So I'm going to tap on that, and I'm going to say share for 1 hour.
Okay, why would you want to know where somebody else was?
I'm practicing for my class with this activity.
Beverly, why would you want to know where somebody is?
I mean, why would you want to share your location
Only
with
lasts for 1 hour.
Joe
With
or
your
anybody
family.
else?
You would
Right.
let your family know if you're
Right.
traveling or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good thing to do, to share sometimes. Like the item, I think I mentioned a while ago, you got 2 or 3 people going say to Birmingham in different cars, and you want to keep up with where they are. So if they pull off somewhere, you'll know they pulled off, and you can find each other easily that way.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
And I think that the other thing is that teenagers use this a lot because they want to keep up with their friends. Okay. So
Okay.
one example I saw was there were like 5 people here they were sharing with indefinitely because they were keeping up with their friends. So
And parents probably want to keep up with their kids.
yeah.
Oh yeah,
We want to
It'd be a great
track
way to do that.
them.
That too.
They may not want us to, but
They may know how to turn it off too.
yeah.
Exactly, they could cancel it. But there just may be times that, especially with my friend that was coming to visit me and she took the wrong exit and she knew she wasn't at the right exit, but she didn't know where she was. So she called me and she said, I'm lost. Where am I? I didn't have this app at that time, but it was like, I don't know where you are. I can't see where you are. Can you see any signs or anything? And she couldn't. But if we'd had this app, I could have started sharing my location. She
That
could
would
have
have helped.
easily responded, and then I could have seen where she was. So there are some options. And then, if you've got somebody in your family that kind of loses their way, or you don't know where they are, you're kind of worried about that, you all could set it up,
I think it would help if you're like somewhere like Disney World where you can't get Wi-Fi at the moment and you can locate people because sometimes your Wi-Fi doesn't work in a real busy, crowded area.
I had an experience. My granddaughter took a trip to Australia. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
And she shared her location with me before she went, which was a lot of fun because I could kind of track her and just daydream about New Zealand or Sydney or Melbourne, wherever she happened to be.
So, yeah. So there's reasons, but
It was a big comfort to her parents too.
to worry about it. Yeah. So, okay. So that's how, and then you can stop sharing by tapping, on the person you're sharing your location with, and you can stop sharing.
Don't they have to have an iPhone?
Yes, it has to be Apple to Apple.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I tapped stop sharing, and then it says, do you want to do that? And I say, yes, stop sharing. Okay. And Joe can go to his also, see that he's sharing with me, and he can stop that sharing. Okay.
Okay.
So that's the way you can stop. So, all right. So that's it. Any questions about it before I stop sharing? Okay. All right.
Okay.
All right. So any questions for Any of us?
I guess I just want to say thank you. This is Joanne. Because I didn't know it. I knew about the little items for your, what are they called? Air tags,
Yeah.
but I didn't know much about them. So I think I will probably go get some.
Me too.
I looked up online on Amazon, and they're on sale for like 24 or 24.99. They're usually about $29, and then the little holder, and you can buy 4 for like $80, and the little holder, I think this is $4.
Okay, well, thank you.
It's worth it for tracking your luggage when you travel.
In your
Now,
purse.
did you do that, Brittany, when you traveled last?
Yeah.
And what did you call that?
It's an air tag.
Okay, thank you.
Air tag.
Yeah, this is all interesting.
Okay, well, good.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks, Brookie
Thanks,
and Joe
Brookie.
and Kurt. Thanks.
Yeah, I'm
Thanks,
gonna try to
Beverly.
download all these.
Download those. If you do have trouble, feel free to give us an email or call and we'll get you a copy if you can't do it. Should be able to do it.
Where
Okay.
do we find that, Joe? Where do we,
Yes.
where do we find what we're supposed to download?
Go to the chat.
Oh, okay.
Everybody click on chat if you can.
Uh-huh.
I'm
And
sorry,
you should
what is
see-
that?
I don't see it. Where is
Down
it?
in the bottom of your screen.
It has the little.
2 little bubbles with 3 dots in them.
Oh,
Yeah, it's called chat.
Ah,
And then you see it on the right side.
great.
So there's the Opera browser information,
Great.
how to make custom, and then turn your
Oh.
phone.
Yes, you going out to eat?
You can find my app. Okay.
Oh.
So before you
Okay, I'll do it right.
go
Thank
ahead
you.
and download it.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks,
Bye-bye.
guys.
Thanks for
Thanks,
coming
Thanks,
by.
everybody.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Join us next
Good
month.
Nice seeing you
We'll have
all.
some new
See ya.
exciting
We'll
events.
see you next month.
Thank you for confusing me again.
Okay.
That was pretty good.
Nice job.
Hey, Buzz.
I'll probably have to take it 3 or 4 times before I understand it.
Me
All
too.
right, we need
Thanks,
the money.
Joe.
Me too.
Thanks, Beth.
Take care.
Brooke, I mean.
Buzz, we might see you tomorrow. No, Thursday, I
Thursday.
mean.
Oh,
Thursday.
which one's tomorrow?
I'm sorry,
That's another
it was
class.
Thursday. was-
I can babysit.
So we'll see.
Thank you.
We'll see if the weather's okay.
All right.
So check your email.
Okay. Take
All
care. Thanks for all you do.
All right. Thank you, Buzz.
Bye.